Today is the 29th day of me coming on the live streams, and we're going to discuss about one of the topics. First thing first, we're going to understand what Trump administrations, what they're trying to do regarding the immigrants who is trying to get the citizenships through one of the pathway. And then we will realize that, wait a minute, why they're doing this kind of things. And River, we're going to jump in. We're going to discuss about it, that why exactly those Trump administrations or Trump's political party who is running right now, why they're doing these things. Then eventually we will talk about how the United States of America was originally built from. Before I was about to come on the live streams, I saw one of the headlines in the news that it was saying, oh, Trump administrations, they're trying to end or they're trying to and the birthright citizenships. I got shocked that, wait a minute. So if somebody who is born in a country which is United States, then that means that they would not become a citizens. And it also automatically make me think of the Middle East country, because in Middle East country, even if you live there 23 or 24 or even 30 years, your entire life in Middle East country, they would not going to give you any citizenships. But right now they have made a pathway where you have to spend hell lot of money. Afterward, then only they're going to make you as citizens. However, if we're talking about the United States of America, there are multiple different pathways. If you speak with immigrant lawyer, they're gonna tell you. But one of the most famous way is any countries, any kind of background, any kind of status. If an immigrant couple comes into United States, and if they get married to another person who is legal citizens or permanent resident, then they can also get um, legal status, or let's say some of the couples who is under the asylum seekers or maybe in temporary status, and they came to the United States, and afterward somehow by miracle they got a baby boy. In that case is automatically, according to the 14th amendment, it's automatically that persons will gonna get the citizenship. Here is one thing for sure clear, even though the his or her parents is not a green card holder or not as a, what's the name, not as a citizen, but still the baby who is born into the country, they can able to get the citizenships. But right now the Trump administration doesn't, wait. These people who came to United States. Hello, Samara. Yeah, we are just discussing. Hello, KJ. Say hi in the chat and let me know from where you guys are watching from. And it's time in New York City is 5:12 a.m. But still, I came in the live stream to discuss this matter. So just say hi in the chat. So the question is, wait. Trump administration, wait. These people, they are not a green card holder. What are you from? Well, we're gonna discuss that later, but right now let's talk about this one quickly, and then eventually we're gonna talk about it. By the way, I'm not a United States citizen, but hopefully I'm gonna talk about this later. So Trump administration, wait. These people, they're not a green card holder, they're not a citizens, and why we should give them a pathway to become an immigrant? Why we should give them a pathway to become a citizens through a child who they give birth to the United States? I'm from Indonesia. All right. Welcome from Indonesia. Welcome from New York City. Right now, I'm from the United States. All right. A, and so this is what the Trump administration is saying, that, hey, his parent, mother, father, who is not a green card holder, not a permanent resident. So why should we give them the citizenships, even though the baby is born in United States? But here the thing they are forgetting, here, the things they're forgetting, that according to the United States, they have some sort of amendment. So 14th Amendment, it is saying that, oh, anyone who is born in the United States, they would automatically become a US citizen. But right now, according to some of the judges, they immediately blocked that particular ruling of the Trump administration. They're saying, no, this is no way it's possible. So it's better for us to just stick with the amendments that we have already in our countries. And the Trump administrations, they give another criteria. Another criteria was okay. So if that other babies who is born in the United States, and only if one of the parents, at least one of the parents, whether it is mother or father, doesn't really matter. If one of them who is a green card holder or who is a citizen at least, then the other parents would also get a citizenship as well as the baby will also get a citizenship. Other parents, how they will gonna get it? So once the baby will turn around 18 years old, and then once it 18 years old at that time, that baby, which means their children's hit 18 years old, the children's will apply for his or her parents. But that for the children to get a citizenship, at least one of his or her mother or father needs to be a green card holder or citizen. This is what the Trump administration is saying. So ultimately, the judge who literally blocked that particular rulings, and they're saying, nope, that's bullshit. We have to, again, I'm just rephrasing it. So that's bullshit. We have to just stick with our 14th Amendment right now at the time beings. And this is the where it left over. As we have told you before, that if we are looking into that perspective, that just not allowing the other temporary resident to become a citizens, then it literally affecting the 14th Amendment of the United States, which means the administrations, which means government administration, try to rewrite the amendments. Okay, so that is the reasons it's literally messing the things up. And ultimately, if we think about that, how this United States of America was built, so United States of America was built even though we were in the United States of America. You can just read the history that primarily the United States of America was belonged to the Native Americans. Then eventually people from all over the countries, primarily from the British, uh, go Trump. Okay, there is some of the supporter who is saying that go Trump. All right. So some people from the British, some people from the other countries who just came into the United States of America, and eventually they built the United States of America by taking the land from the Native Americans. So who its origin belonged to? Native Americans. So that is the reasons many people they argue. I'm saying many people they argue that if the countries originally belonged to the Native Americans, and as a result, you can't tell that, oh, this is our country, we have to restrain it because you just got it from the Native Americans and you just ruling it. That doesn't work like this. Is some people they argue. But on the other hand, if we think about it, that on the other hand, even though each countries have been ruled by many different kind of ruler as well as dictator, but eventually it have been taken over by another party. For example, I can give Turkey, which means Uthman. So if we think about the Uthman, they ruled for so many years, and eventually the Turkish people they take over the Ottoman Empire. Then once they take over the Ottoman Empire, then right now it is under their control. So if we implement the same psychology, some people saying that if we implement the same thing, then it seems like yeah, the Trump administration is trying to protect their country. But if we think about a different way, different point of view, then it is quite clear that got the countries from Native Americans right now, and it's better to give the opportunity to the other peoples who are coming in, and rather than changing that 14th Amendment's rules regulations based on your administration, whatever their thinkings. So ultimately, it is better, I would say, that rather than making immediate decisions, it's better just think about the pros, cons, and eventually make a decisions by involving the again they're the government administrations because government administrations our government and because there is a government there is a court order amendments as well as those court judge who makes the rules. So the government they are the peoples, whatever rules is there they're trying to follow. So it's better instead of making the abrupt rules, try to involve the judge court and everything and ultimately make a decisions because it will mess things up so badly because even I have seen in front of my own eyes that uh, many of the peoples who are temporary resident, for example, who comes in United States for a visiting visa or maybe in other categories of the visa, and then eventually they get married, and once they get married and they get a child, and they're hoping that through this particular child they will become an immigrant. And guess what? If you look into many countries around the world, United States is one of the countries which is more immigrant friendly to the people from a foreign as compared to the other countries around the world. So that is the reason I would say that it's better rather than taking immediate action. First of all, consider it, take some time, because again, if any decision that you take abruptly, it will mess things up so badly. And once, for example, whenever the Trump administration, they have put the tariff into all the goods that are importing or exporting whatsoever coming out of the United States. And guess what? Guess what? I also lost some of the dollar from the stock market. I invested some of the money in the stock market, and whenever the Trump administration put the tariff, immediately the stock market goes down. Why? Because, bro, the rules have been signed in, and they're immediately just trying to implement the rules. And whenever they implement the rules, all the sailor, all the buyers, they got freaked out. As they got freaked out, people are stop selling, or some people are stop buying because the price is huge. Are you kidding me? 180%, 120% tariff on something. Because what is the main goal? Main goal is not to allow the other countries goods to come into the United States. On top of that, Trump administration, they also, again, this is what people also said, and this is what I have heard from the social media. I'm not making things up. So their main goal is to try to make the labor system of the United States to, you know, allow the company to use the United States people, citizens or green card holder, to do the farm work or some of the low level work. But here is the problem, Bryce. Extremely big problem. Big problem is that even though, for example, in any countries, whenever a developed country, low developed country, so let's say a person who came from a low developed country into a developed country, so whenever he came into developed country, at that time he will see that even though if it is low level job, immediately he's going to work it. But the developed countries people, even though there is a low level job, they're giving a good amount of money, but still you're going to insist, either he's going to insist on doing that, or as far as I know that, or if you enforce him or if you give him more bonus everything, then still the output would not you will get as compared to the low developed country. You know why? Why? Because the low developed country, the person who came into the high developed country, he has a driven that, I've been went through so much suffer, or I've been went through so much difficulties in my life. Even though it seems like the work that I'm doing in the high developed country, it's almost same thing, the one that I used to do in the low developed country, very poor country. So as a result, they put a hell lot of effort, hell lot of hard work to earn some money. And here, earn some money, I'm not saying that only for their own benefit. That's eyebrow, not undeveloped. No, no, no. I have no idea. Trust me. So somebody just commented something. Long story short, what I was trying to say is they are not only just pocketing their own amount on their pocket, they're also trying to help the country's people, labor systems. All right. So that is the reasons I would think that it's better to just take some time, consider all the factor rather than just giving immediate action. Because again, you can pass a bill immediately, but trust me, because of the one bills which gonna mess up other people's life so badly. Even for example, any countries, whenever a leader, any country's leader, I would not gonna take the name. Any country's leader, trust me, whenever they sign the bill, oh, we're gonna go and fight with that particular country. Even though, even though you other people are thinking, oh, our leader said we're gonna fight, but still it is affecting so badly to the general public. And the leader who is thinking just go and fight it and show all the bravery stuff, or show that how brave we are, how strong we are, and they are not thinking about how what are the suffering the general people or public will gonna go through during the war. For example, in Palestine or for example Israel, these people they have no idea. Oh, there is Hamas boom attack. Oh, there is this Israel boom attack. But what's going on with the general public? People are dying. Trust me, even Russia as well as Ukraine, general people are affecting their life. So as a result, it is better to just consider and then take the actions which is appropriate rather than thinking what is best based on your own mind. And these are the same approach I would say whoever leader, whether it is Donald Trump, whether it is Joe Biden's, whether it is anyone from the United States or any country's leader, it is crucial to take some time because again, only one actions will going to affect million people in your countries. And right now we are having 7 billion people in the world, more than 7 billion people. So that is the keeping that in mind. Keeping that in mind, if you make a rules, if you make a rules and that affect only for 1 million, then you know what are the negative effect your country's economic will get. And whenever I was thinking about the rules, it also reminded me one of the another thing. There is one of the YouTubers, I'm pretty much sure you can just look it up in the YouTubes. Um, forgot what his name, but still, let me tell you, long story short. Dude, there is a people who is dying in the hospital in United States and they're in coma. You know, coma, they could not speak, they could not talk, they could not even, they just only breathe, only little bit breathing is there. But the relatives was saying to just take off all the system, we're going to bury him because there is zero chances for him to survive. But the hospital is saying no, this is a rule. It is the rules made by the state or maybe in the state, in that particular state, that we cannot able to remove those system from that from the patients. If we do that, then the state law will gonna charge us for being murdering that particular person. So why? Because that person is still little bit breathing, but even though the person is 0% 1 or 2% chances of survival, still the still relatives can't able to enforce the hospital to remove those all the lines and everything. So why? Because of the one rules. So as a result, the bills are going extremely high. So most probably, I guess that the relatives have to, or whoever guardians, they have to pay those bills. Why not? Because they have signed in whenever that person got admitted into the hospital. So right now, to avoid being charged for the hospital to avoid being charged of from themselves from the government, what they do, they're saying nope, we will going to keep the patients into the hospital even though if she's having 0.00001% chances of survival or 0.00% chance of survival. Why? Because we know that we do not want to take those burden from the government. Okay, so that is the reason we have to keep the patients into the hospital. If you touch and if you do anything, we're gonna just call the law enforcement, and if the law enforcement will come, whoever relatives are trying to just take the actions, government will gonna deal with them. So long story short is because of the one rules, even though the persons he would not gonna survive. And I still remember that my mother, she also passed away because she had a cancer. So at that time, even though whenever she's in extremely critical condition, because when the person's body is extremely critical conditions at that times, the worst part is that the person is getting in severe pain through their, breath. Even though one of my brother, I think he's Minha's brother. He said that his grandmother, she's around 100 something. So at that particular age, it's better for her to, if there is 0% of survival. So he was saying that it's better for her to, since she has all the lifespans in this earth, so this is the end moment. So there is nothing she can do. All right. So same like this, even if the person is in critical conditions, extremely critical condition, and there is no power for the doctor and other people to, you know, make her to recover. So in that case, that's the best options. If the hospital decided, then they have to take it. But if the government separate those eyebrows, groom, bro, I don't understand. There's some people are saying they separate those eyebrows. Other people are saying it is such a beautiful thing. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the later. And thank you so much for pointing out, Corey. So those are the things we have just discussed. So the first thing first, we have discussed about the Donald Trump, his rules. Because again, I had many relatives who is born here in United States. Again, in my cases, they are their father or mother, both of them are citizens. So in that case, it didn't affect. But whenever I saw the like the Trump administration's trying to block, trying to remove the birthright citizenships, it literally shocked me. What is going on? What is going on? Then immediately, by the way, that was from the CNN News. So that's also showed me, wait a minute, is it true or fake? And then eventually I said, you know what? Just dig, bro, laughing at the eyebrow comment. Bro, to be honest, there is someone in there, and then he's saying, bro, laughing at the eyebrows comment. All right. Because when I was born at that time also, I had so much eyebrow. Anyway, so even my mother, before she died at that time, she used to say, "Oh, it is a good thing." But right now, some people are saying, "Hi, it's look beautiful." And even when I was in the barber shops, I said, "Can I just remove it?" This thing, he was saying, "Nope. If you can remove it, then this eyebrow will gonna come up more." So anyway, long story short, those are the things that we have discussed, and definitely tomorrow, which means today at night, hopefully I'm going to come on the live streams, and if there is any major news is that comes up, and we're going to discuss about it. And by the way, is there anyone who is watching from the Texas? And if so, just let me know what is the condition in the Texas, because I had a few of the viewers from the Texas yesterday, and one of them, he said that there is more than 100 people have been missing in the Texas because of the extremely severe flood, and 150 people are missing, I believe, and almost 100 people have died. And that's literally shocked me a lot. So if anybody is there, just let me know some update whether what's going on in the Texas. Because again, the reasons I do not watch news that much is because, bro, trust me, the news they're too much exaggerating. Because if there is a true stuff is there, they completely make into in a way that like fabricated, so that they were seeking for bullshit attention. So that is the reasons whether you are talking about the Fox News or BBC or whichever it is. Still, I try to get some summarized information as well as accurate information. So if anybody is from the Texas, just let me know in the comment that what's the condition there. And thank you so much for many people who have joined in and some of them who just pointed out about my eyebrow. Thank you so much. And then thank you so much for the comment, bro. He's laughing at the eyebrow comment. Corey Lens, separate those eyebrows, groom the beard. Bro, trust me, I will gonna groom the beard, but I'm trying to just make it a little bit bigger. Trust me, because if it get a little bit bigger, then at least I look like a more more a strong man or more beard man. And also, I'm trying to get into gym and try to make my body more shapes. My shape means getting a little bit bigger. And there is somebody named Justin Eva. Thank you so much for your comment. Um, and Michael, that eyebrow not underdeveloped. All right, thank you so much for the comment. I can't breathe. Okay, go Tom. Eric Otnes, your opinion is irrelevant. All right, that's what it is, man. That's fine. Where you're from? All right, nobody's. Thank you so much for your comments, and we're gonna see you next times. And definitely, if there is any good news, is there, and we're gonna do a little bit more research, I believe, because today I just saw the news and immediately I just jump in and try to discuss based on some of the informations that I have and some of the experience. Because again, different people have their different point of view. So the one that I know as well as the one that I have heard from my relatives, some other people's about the birthright, that's what I have discussed. Maybe you might have a different view. Just make sure, say it in the comment and we're gonna talk about it. And yeah, that's it. Have a wonderful day, guys. And I will definitely gonna catch you up tomorrow because I'm coming on the live stream every single day around 365 days, and that's the main goals, try to build a community, and hopefully we will have some kind of big platform live stream communities and where we're going to discuss about any kind of topics that's seems like other people are not covering it, and we're gonna dive in. We're gonna get more informations about it, and different people have different opinions, and we're gonna talk about it. And Discord is there. You can just look into it, and if you want to say something, do anything, that is yours. Welcome to the teams, and we're gonna see you next time.